All right, Thursday night football. The Baltimore Ravens are going into Tampa Bay. Baltimore is favored by 1.5 in this game. The over-under is 45. I don't know about you guys, but this Tampa Bay team, they suck. They're dog shit. They are not good. Enough of, they were bad this week. No, they're a bad team. 1.5, I'd probably give it to the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to win by more than that. And the over-under 45, I'd probably take the under just because I don't have faith in Tampa Bay's offense. I don't think Tampa Bay can really score. They only put 3 points up against the Panthers. That's not good. So give me the Baltimore Ravens to win. Under 45. Ravens cover the 1.5.
I have to agree with Casey. I will be picking the Ravens. They will be covering that 1.5. It might be a little closer than you think, but they'll definitely cover that 1.5 just because we know Baltimore likes to give up late game leads. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick the under just because Tampa Bay can't score, but Baltimore's defense is a little leaky at times. I'm still gonna pick the under. So give me the Ravens covering with the under.
I'll call y'all Tom Brady in 6. Even with a struggling Lamar, I think it's going to be an easy game for the Ravens. I'm going to take the under as well because, the Tampa Bay can't score worth a shit.
Short and sweet, beautiful. Taking an early lone wolf this week, guys.
He's doing it.
I'm doing it. I think the spread is in this spot for a reason. I think Tampa Bay is going to come back and not get back to where everybody expected them to be, but I think they're going to play a little bit better this week. They can't be shit in the bed like this anymore. If, however, they get blown out of the water by the Ravens, Tom Brady is officially cursed.
No, Gisele's a witch.
Absolutely confirmed a witch if they get blown out this game. It's in Tampa Bay. I think it's going to be a kind of low scoring game. So I'm going to take the under on it because I think it's going to be a defensive matchup between these two teams. Baltimore hasn't been able to find like a real groove this season from what I've seen. There's certain games where they do have a little bit of one, but it's just not consistent. Tampa Bay also just no consistency whatsoever. Like, just their whole season, except for week 1 when they played Dallas. That was just, I've said it all season, a disaster in itself. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay here to straight up is plus 110.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Take Tampa Bay straight up here and then take the under on that. Tampa Bay takes it from the Ravens at home Thursday night. Also, Thursday night games have been a shit show every single week this year. So Thursday night continues the shit show affair.
I would say the Broncos are going into Jacksonville, but they are not. They are playing in London this week. The game is in London, and I feel bad that London has to watch this game.
They're in Tottenham this time, right? The other one.
They're
Wembley.
At Wembley Stadium, I believe, this time. That's like the Jaguars' home over there when they go over there. But the Broncos are hoping to get Russell Wilson back from his hamstring injury after they have Brett Rippin, or however the hell you say his name. He started last week and was pretty much trash. So there you go. But the Jaguars pushed the Giants, and Travis Etienne Jr. is the starter now because they traded Robinson to the Jets after Breece Hall tore his ACL. The Jaguars won overseas last year in a messy game, and I think they're going to win this year. And basically what is a home game for them because London loves the Jaguars. I don't know why, but they love the Jaguars. It's great. It's good for the Jaguars. They have more fans in London than they do in Jacksonville. But the Jaguars are favored by 2.5. The over-under is 39. Give me... do I take the over? Do I do it? No, I can't do it. I think the Jaguars are going to win, like, I'm going to say 20-12 because the Broncos can't score touchdowns. And the under hits. Jaguars win 20-12. They cover the 2.5, under 39.
Yeah, I just don't see how Denver can win this even with Russell Wilson. Right now, Jacksonville, yes, they've kind of fallen back off, come back to common land with themselves. They are favored as they should be. They are, I think, a better team than the Broncos are right now. 2.5 points. I think they can win by a field goal. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game, tight game, because the Broncos defense is still really good. That's about it. That's good for the Broncos right now. So I'm definitely gonna take the under, but give me Jacksonville covering by a field goal.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Jags as well. Like Steven said, it should be a low-scoring game, very close, just because both offenses are not the best for the time being, and the Broncos do have a pretty decent defense to contain Jacksonville. So I'll take Jacksonville. The Broncos are going to cover, and I'm going to say under as well.
I'm pretty much on board with you guys here with Jacksonville. Casey got that overseas game, so home game for Jacksonville, basically. Who knows why that's a thing? Maybe they like Jaguars over there or something. I don't know.
The London Jaguars.
Yeah. Who knows? Tell you one thing we do know, though. The Jaguars have competed in every game they've played this season thus far. They haven't lost a game by more than 10 points, I don't think. They have not lost a game by more than 10 points this season. With a mediocre ass Broncos team, hopefully for you, unless you want to make a fantasy trade, Travis Etienne finally starts performing as the starter. And the Broncos defense doesn't, I mean, they'll hold up for what they have this far in the season. That's the only thing that's like halfway working for Denver. They just don't have enough. Denver just doesn't have enough to compete here, I don't think. But who knows? Half the picks I make, they're logical, and then it goes the other way because the NFL is just so all over the place this season. You never know what the hell is going to happen. But I'm going to take the Jaguars here with you guys. I'm going to take the under as well with you. I think we all had the under 39 points. I don't think either team will score that much. It's just a weird game because anything can happen in this game. We don't know what these teams are capable of or what team's going to show up every week. It's just annoying. Jacksonville covers 2.5. Under 39.
Next game here, we have the New England Patriots going into New York to take on the Jets. The Patriots, believe it or not, are favored by 1.5 in this game. The over-under is 40.5. This could be the game of the week in the AFC. I know it's weird, but these two teams do not like each other, and I think this could be a really, really good game. The Jets do lose Breece Hall for the season with an ACL injury. The Jets get James Robinson from the Jaguars. I think they'll be just fine there. I think the Jets are the better team than the Patriots. The Patriots... they basically gave up on Monday night this week. They had 6 minutes left. They were down 2 scores, and they were just running the ball and holding onto the ball and just punting it away. They did not care about that game towards the end of the game. So give me the Jets to win. I'd take them straight up. They're plus 105, 40.5 points. I'll take the over in that. I think both teams can score 20 points in this game. So give me the over 40.5. I'm picking the Jets to win, though.
Yeah, I don't know why the Patriots are favorite either right now after last night. I mean, you lose by double digits to the Bears, you should not be favored ever again in life. Yeah, I have the Jets winning this game. Definitely. I think it will be over the 45.5. Both teams can put up points. The Jets have been really competitive this year, and the 4-game winning streak has shown it. So definitely give me the Jets. Straight up. I know it's only 105, but it's better than nothing. And then give me the over 45.5.
We found out the Jets can score. So like you said, it is going to be a good game. Picking the Jets on this matchup just because we don't know what's going on with the situation in New England with the quarterbacks, much as other teams, sadly. So I'm going to go with the Jets. Seeing as how they can score, I'm going to go with an over on that 40.5. I don't see the Patriots covering. I think it's going to be a pretty big lead by the Jets. I'm gonna say at least a touchdown lead.
Well, if you're picking the Jets, that covers already. The Patriots are favored.
Patriots are favored.
Yes,
Yep.
and I guess it covers. My bad.
Yeah,
Had it flipped.
yeah. That's how it
That's
should
okay.
be. Honestly, I feel like the Jets should be favored in this game at home. The Jets are 5-2. The Patriots are 3-4.
As we
so
record this on Tuesday, it's probably going to flip by the time the game kicks off.
that usually happens with this close of spreads, especially this situation that this game is in. It's weird. But if you're gonna place a bet on this game, do it now. I'm on board with you guys with the Jets. Like I just said, the Jets are 5-2. They're riding a trend upward. Who would have thought the Jets would be 5-2 going into week 8? Either,
Yeah.
huh? Fucking Zach Wilson's been balling out and stealing MILFs. So I'll take the Jets straight up here, plus 105. I'm going to take the over on this as well at 40.5. I don't think that's very high for these two teams. The defenses aren't very good. As we saw, New England got absolutely decimated by the Bears somehow, and the Jets defense not that great either. So easy over for me on the 40.5 and Jets straight up.
Next game here is the Battle of Pennsylvania. You have the Steelers going into the Eagles. Tony, look away. The spread. The Steelers are 10.5 point underdogs to the Eagles in Philadelphia. The over-under is 43. The Steelers' defense has played better, and this offense has flashed with Kenny Pickett, but they make too many mistakes. That's the problem with your team right now, Tony, is they're making a lot of critical, crucial mistakes. The Eagles are coming off bye and will have their defense well rested, and I think they're going to beat Kenny Pickett on the other side. Jalen Hurts and his receivers are going to cause major problems as well. I do have the Eagles winning this game. I do like the over 43. I do not like the Eagles to cover, though. I don't think they're going to win by 10.5. I think the Steelers will keep it closer than that. Give me the Eagles to win. I'm going to say it's like a 31-24 type game, but they don't cover. Steelers will cover over 43.
Philly is just gonna. I'm sorry, Tony, but they should dominate you pretty easily. Their defense is just on another level. They probably have the best defense in the league right now. Yes, your Steelers defense is good, but their Eagles defense is way better. I have the Eagles winning this game pretty easily. I am taking the over because I think both teams can put up some points. Definitely the Eagles can. the Steelers, if you can play consistent, you can keep it a close game. If Kenny Pickett cannot throw an interception, which the Philadelphia Eagles have the best turnover margin right now, it might be tough. So give me the Eagles winning. I have them covering, unfortunately, and with the over.
I am ready to be hurt again. Nah, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't. I said there was going to be one game that I didn't go with the Steelers, and this is it. The week has come. Any other team, yeah, that's fine. But this is the way they're playing. And don't get me wrong, even with all the injuries, we finally got most of our team back last week. The defense finally figured it out without TJ Watt. They shut down the Dolphins, which is a very explosive offense, to no scoring in the complete second half. So they've been holding their own. It just can't be matched by Kenny. Let's throw 3 picks a game. Pick it. If he could figure out a way to stop throwing 3 picks in a game, then we'll start talking about having a chance against the Eagles. But right now, the Eagles are too explosive for me to be able to pick them. To pick the Steelers, I'm sorry. So I'm going to go with the Eagles, unfortunately. I will say it's going to be over because the Eagles can't score. We saw something as that Kenny's finally developing to be able to take them down the field and be able to score as well. So it should be over 43. But I do see the Steelers covering. I don't think they're going to be completely blown out.
Well, guys, this might absolutely shock everyone, but fuck the Eagles, baby. I'm taking the Steelers, motherfuckers.
That's an L.
The Eagles are due for their first loss of the season, and it's coming this week against Pittsburgh, baby. Plus 390 for the Steelers, and give me the over 43. Let's go.
All this coming from a Cowboy fan.
That's it.
I mean, look, he might honestly run away with it.
Tony doesn't
if
hate
you
it, so
saw anything in the previous games is that the Eagles cannot play with a lead. If they get a lead, they're
right
gonna
now.
blow it.
I'm calling it right now. They're due. They're due for their first loss of the season, baby.
The Chicago Bears, the Bears, go into
The Bears.
Dallas to take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are favored by 9 in this game. The over-under is 42.5. The Bears, congrats to you, Bear fans. You guys blew out the Patriots in Foxborough. Nobody thought that was happening. All y'all attacking us on TikTok because we were wrong for one pick. And none of y'all motherfuckers had the Bears either. So let's just go with that. The Bears, even though they won this week, they do have an inept offensive team with few weapons. That's the truth there. I mean, they do have Justin Fields looked really good this week, though. He looked really awesome. But the Cowboys defense has been up to the task at home and just blew out their NFC foe, Lions. And I think the Lions have a better offense than the Bears do. This is my blowout of the week, boys. I like the Cowboys big in this game. I know the Bears are coming off a high from beating the Patriots, but I think that the Cowboys are going to just blow the Bears out of the water in Arlington on Sunday. Give me the Cowboys like 31-13. That's my pick there. That puts you over the 42, and that has Dallas covering the 9.
yes, the Bears did surprise us last week, or last night, I should say. Nobody saw that coming. Not even the Bears fans.
If you said you
They
saw
prob-
that coming, you're fucking lying.
Chicago probably wasn't even watching this game. They were probably watching something else. That being said, the Cowboys through 7 games have only given up 8 touchdowns, which is pretty good. Pretty good. I think 3 of those being in Philly by themselves. This defense is good. Chicago's offense is okay. They're not terrible, but they're okay. Cowboys defense should dominate pretty easily. Dak should be a little better this week now that he's had a game in his belt and actually scored a touchdown finally. Give me the Cowboys winning big. Give me the Cowboys covering and the over as well.
It's truly a shitty week for me. Not only do I have to go against the Steelers, now I have to pick the fucking Cowboys. That's fucking torture. I hate this. I hate the season. I hate football. Obviously, the safe bet here is going to go with the Cowboys because it's the Bears. I don't know. After yesterday, they look comfortable out there. If they could blow out the Patriots out of nowhere in Foxborough, because they can't shit the bed and make it happen twice in a week, twice back to back. I'm sorry. So I will give it to the Cowboys, but I think the Bears will somehow find a way to sneak their way into not getting blown out. So I'm gonna keep it a close game. I'm gonna say they cover. It's going to be less than a 9-point deficit. 42.5. I'm going to go under. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Well, guys, this should be no surprise. The Dallas Cowboys are fucking going nuts this week, baby. Casey calling blowout of the week. I love to see it. I hope Dak gets back into his actual groove this week. He saw a lot of reps last week, and I feel like he got a lot more comfortable in the second half. I want to say, though, we need to run the fucking ball more. I don't understand why. I talk about it every week. Kellen Moore is just fucking dog shit. I'm so tired of his bullshit play calling where he's playing Madden 23. This guy will do anything and everything to try to trick the other team into like trying to second guess what they're doing. Just run the fucking ball. Your offensive line is massive. They've found their groove. Dallas's offensive line has found it. Tyler Smith is just, he's there now. And the rest of them, I mean, Zach Martin's probably the best offensive lineman in the league now. So has been for a while. Taking Dallas here. Cover that 9-point spread. Blowout of the week. Let's see how far are we blowing this out of the water, though. Justin Fields goes for 3 interceptions. Fumble recovery in there somewhere. I mean, I'm just being ridiculous at this point. We'll see. But Dallas blows Chicago out of the water. I'll take the over 42.5. Take Dallas 35-10.
The Miami Dolphins are going into Detroit to take on the Lions. The Dolphins are favored by 3.5 in this game, and the over-under is 51.5. This might seem like a trap game on the road for Miami after they had to grind it out against Pittsburgh. Detroit was pretty scrappy in the first half against Dallas, and they actually had the lead. It was 6-3, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they had the lead 6-3. Here's the thing. Jared Goff has not been good. The Lions, I think, are overmatched here, and it won't go well for this team because I think they're about to get ripped by the Dolphins. Give me the Dolphins to cover the 3.5. I do think the Lions are going to put up some points, though, on this Dolphins defense. I don't think they're going to put up a ton of points, but I think they can score like 21-24. If they play well, if they don't play well, they're not scoring a lot of points. But I like the Dolphins to score a lot on this Lions defense. I think it's going to be like 38-18, something like that. They're going to like a 20-point win. So give me the Dolphins to win. Dolphins cover the 3.5. I will take the over 51.5.
Yeah, the Dolphins were kind of like the Cowboys last week. They both had quarterbacks coming back from injuries. So they were both kind of rusty at the first, in their first time back in a while. Tua, especially with his concussion problem. And the Lions are better than we all thought they were, but they're still not good enough. The Dolphins should win this game. I don't think it will be an easy win, but they'll win this game. I have them covering. I think they'll win by a touchdown at least. And both teams can put up points, so I'll pick the over as well. So give me Miami covering with the over 51.5, which is a lot of points.
So this is a pretty straightforward one. Miami's going to take it. Detroit's been struggling too much with Goff. Easily going to win by more than a touchdown. The only thing getting me right now is the over-under. I don't know. I don't know. Tua's playing very conservative just so that he won't get hit, and I think he will be conservative again and try not to run as much just to keep himself safe, at least for this coming week, just to secure he doesn't get another concussion. That way he starts feeling a little more comfortable, so he might be held to a low-scoring matchup. I'm going to go with under for this one, just because he might be trying to play a little conservative compared to how he was in the past before concussion. So Dolphins covering under.
That is a good point, Tony. Tua said last week that he was going to do that, play more conservative. There was a play where he dove straight fucking headfirst into a player, and he kind of laughed about it after the game. He was like, I know I need to stop doing that. It's the dog in him, you know?
It's just natural instinct.
I respect that out of Tua. He'll do anything and everything to put his team in a position to win a game. Having said that, though, I think he will be a little bit more conservative with running this week. I think Miami's offense is still too much for Detroit this week. Detroit's offense is also going to put up a lot of points on Miami's not so great defense. This is easy for me. I'm taking Miami to cover that 3.5. Easy over the 51.5. It is a lot of points, but I think this is going to be a really high scoring game, like 37-31 or something. Could be that high scoring. This highest scoring game of the week for sure on paper, in my opinion. Take Miami. 3.5 over 51.5.
Next game here, we have the Cardinals going into Minnesota. The Cardinals are coming off a mini bye, and Minnesota is coming off an actual bye. This, I think, could be the best NFC game of the week. I think both teams are pretty evenly matched here. Arizona's found something more around Kyler Murray with DeAndre Hopkins returning. DeAndre Hopkins had a pretty decent game last week for not playing for the first 6 weeks. The Vikings are my NFC North preseason NFC North champions. I like the Vikings in this game. They are favored by 4. The over-under is 49. I actually like the Vikings to win by about 4. I think the score is going to be like 28-24, something like that. Vikings pull it out at home. That would put us over the 49 right there. But give me the Vikings to win. Vikings cover, over 49.
Yeah, I think this should be a really close matchup. I think the Cardinals are kind of finding their groove a little bit. The Vikings are playing up to their potential, we should say. Finally, they've been so good on paper for the last years, and they're finally putting it all together. Might be a new coach, who knows? Vikings should win this game. I think they're playing at home, and it's a tough place to play, Minnesota. So give me the Vikings winning. I think Arizona's going to cover. I think they're just going to win by a field goal, and I think it's going to be a closer game than what we think. So I'm going to pick the under.
It's going to be a pretty straightforward win for the Vikings, but going back and forth on it, if the Cardinals defense can play like they did last week, they might be able to steal it. I'm going to go over the Vikings. I'll give them a touchdown win, so I'll have them cover. And I'm going to go with the over just because, let's say the Cardinals put up 20 points, the Vikings could put up a 31 and just blow it over. So I'm going to go with over.
Call of Duty comes out on Friday completely, like fully. So I just want to let that be known for any of you Arizona fans out there. Having said that, Minnesota's going to go ahead and win this game. They're going to cover that 4, and I'm going to take the over on it. Done.
Here is another sneaky good game that could happen this week. The Raiders go into New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Raiders and Saints shootout in the Bayou. Las Vegas will stick with a heavy running game from red hot Josh Jacobs and hope that Derek Carr can play well against a struggling Saints secondary. New Orleans will be looking for more efficient QB play from either Jameis Winston or Andy Dalton and better health from their wide receivers. This Saints team is very banged up. And for that reason, I would normally pick the Saints to win. The Raiders are favored by 2. The over-under is 50. I think that over-under is way too high. I like the under in that 50. But I do like the Raiders to win this game. This is one of the few games that I'm picking the Raiders to win because the Saints are so banged up. I don't think the Saints lose last week against the Cardinals if they're healthy. So give me the Raiders to win. I'll have them cover the 2, but under 50 points is one of my Raider wins for the season for them to pick.
I don't think anyone knows what's going on in New Orleans right now. They're having some serious troubles right now. The Raiders, I think, have found their offensive groove. They've learned that they have to run the ball to win games, and they are doing it at a really good rate right now. So with that being said, I have the Raiders winning this game and covering 2 points. They should win by, I think, a touchdown. But definitely, I think the over-under is high. Just like you said, Casey, I don't think 50 points is a lot in the NFL. And yeah, give me the under for that. But give me the Raiders winning and covering with the under.
Well, I didn't take into account all the injuries the Saints have. You are correct, Casey.
They're fucked up.
After that take, I'm gonna be honest, I switched because I totally disregarded the fact that they are so banged up right now. So yeah, I like the Raiders to win with that. I think Waller's finally gonna be able to show up. Give them like Steven said, I'll give them a touchdown of a difference. So I'm gonna have the Raiders covering, and I'm gonna take the under as well.
Yeah, I was riding the Saints pretty high at the beginning of the season, but they're just injury plagued, man. Last week, injury report: Michael Thomas out, Jarvis Landry out, Andres Pete, one of their guards, out. Adam Trotman, one of the tight ends, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more players were either questionable or ended up being taken out of the game because they were hurt. So not good for New Orleans. I like the Saints. I like Jameis Winston a lot. I hope he comes back and he plays well this week. However, the Raiders are getting better and better every week. They started horribly, but they're getting better. They're finding a little bit of a groove. I like Vegas here to go into New Orleans. 2 is a very low and tight spread. So, I mean, you're basically going at a 1-point game there. So I'm going to take the Raiders to cover that 2 points. And the over under 50, it's tough. It's tough because it's not a lot of defense. It's not a lot of offense either. That's the only thing. I'm going to take the under. Take the under there. Like a 20-17 game or something like that. So Raiders cover the 2 and 27-20. Fuck it.
The Carolina Panthers are going into Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons are favored by 4.5. The over-under is at 42. Let me tell you something. PJ Walker is the truth in freaking Carolina. Dude had a really good game last week. He also has DJ Moore out there. Yeah, he caught seven balls for 69 yards. He did have a touchdown. So he had a pretty good fantasy game, DJ Moore did. I think, however, the Falcons are pissed. And I think they're pissed that they lost to the Bengals so bad. I do like this Falcons team to win at home against the Panthers. The Panthers destroyed the Buccaneers last week. Didn't even let them score a touchdown. Really didn't let them do anything. I mean, if it wasn't for Mike Evans dropping a ball, I mean, that would have changed the tide in the game. But I like the Falcons here. I don't know if I like them by 4.5. I'd probably stay away from that. I'd probably take Carolina to cover. And I like the over 42. I think both teams are going to score a lot of points here. So give me the Falcons to win. Carolina covers over 42.
The Falcons and the Bucs are tied for first place right now in the division at 3-4, which is not looking like a good division. It's looking like the NFC East from a couple of years ago. The Falcons, I think, are the better team in this game. I have the Falcons winning this game. I just think the Panthers beating the Bucs last week was just kind of a fluke from the Buccaneers just not playing at all, basically, as the Panthers are basically in rebuild mode. So give me the Falcons winning. I'm going to take them covering the 4.5. I think they should win by a touchdown. So I'll take the under. Take the under on the 42. So give me the Falcons covering with the under.
I agree with Casey. I think the Falcons are going to be coming back for blood. With that being said, the Panthers are going to be in a rebuilding mode. Right now, they are 2-0 in the conference. The Falcons are 0-2 in the conference. But the Panthers did play a very mediocre offense last week since Tom Brady can't produce. I'm going to give it to the Falcons. I'll have the Falcons cover, and I will say over as well.
Oh man, it's either gonna be a great week for me or it's gonna be a horrible week for me. I'm taking Carolina here, guys. And the reason why is Atlanta's been trending upward. I feel like Carolina's they're in like a weird place. I don't think they're like very much in a rebuild already. I think them trading away Christian McCaffrey is them definitely leaning toward it and moving toward it. But they're not that bad of a team. I think this is actually a really good matchup. And I think this spread should be closer, honestly. But I'm going to take Carolina here to go into Atlanta and shock the Falcons. I don't think Carolina's you can't just count them out into losing the rest of their season. You know what I mean? They're going to have to win a couple more games. And I think this is a very winnable game for them. So for that reason, I'm going to take Carolina to go into Atlanta and take them out. Take them straight up. That's plus 185 right now. And then on the over-under, Carolina's going to have to score a good amount of points to combat Atlanta's offense because Atlanta's offense has been putting up a good amount of points every game. So I'm going to take the over 42 on that as well. So Carolina straight up at 185, over 42.
Next game here, we have the Tennessee Titans going into Houston to take on the Texans. The Titans will hope that Ryan Tannehill can play through his tough ankle injury that he got against the Colts. If not, they're going to rely on Derrick Henry. They have to rely on Derrick Henry anyway because although the Titans beat us twice this year, they're not that much better than the Colts. We almost came back on them the first game, and this game, they're a better team than us this year. Our offense is fucking terrible. But anyway, we're talking about these two teams. Houston has had Dameon Pierce making plays for them. That dude can play some football. The Titans are favored by 2 in this game. The over-under is 40.5. Here's something I have here. I think Tennessee shows that they are just as bad as the rest of the AFC South this week. I like the Texans to win this game. The Texans are plus 105 to win. So, that's not a big straight up bet there, but Texans cover the 2, 40.5 points. None of these teams have a really good offense. I would take the under 40.5, but give me the Houston Texans to beat the Titans at home. Tennessee shows they're just as bad as the rest of the AFC South because our division is dog shit.
Yeah, neither of these teams have offenses. The Titans didn't score a single touchdown last week against the Colts, and the Texans are the Texans. They've both shown flashes in offense. It's not been consistent at all this entire year. We saw the Texans play live the first week of the season, and they did pretty well. They scored 20. It was 20-20, right, against the Colts.
What are you talking about? Last week?
No, the first game we went to.
We tied 2020.
2020, yeah. So the Texans can definitely put up some points, but the Titans have Derrick Henry, and I feel like that's just going to be the deal breaker. So I have the Titans winning, but it's going to be a really close game. I think I'm definitely going to pick the under because I don't think either team can really score right now. Give me the Titans winning.
He's just salty because the Titans blew him out twice.
They didn't blow us out. The only reason why they won this game, so just going to rant on the game a little bit here. We were driving to take the lead, and on a third down play, one of the Titan players grabbed Nyheim Hines' face mask and threw him to the ground, and they didn't call a face mask. Sorry, it was on second down. But he tackled him by his face mask, literally threw him down. It would have been 1st and 10 at the Titans' 12. Mm-hmm. And the very next play, Matt Ryan threw a pick 6. The very next play. So I think if we punch it in there, we probably win that game, but that turned the whole tide of the whole game. We lost, so doesn't matter.
It's the NFL. Shit happens.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tony.
I was just trying to poke at Casey.
Yeah.
Both their teams are trash. That's okay.
Yeah, I know.
The whole division is
Trust
tough.
me, in about 3 games here, I'm going off on the Colts, so.
After this loss, the Steelers are going undefeated. They're just winning out. Starting with a bye week. I'm going to go with the Titans. I just can't pick the Texans. They had a promising start, but they haven't done anything since. I'm sorry, John, but I'm going with the Titans. I'm going to give them more than 2 points. I'll have the Titans cover 40.5 though, 20 points apiece. I'm going to go with the under as well. I don't think they have enough scoring capabilities for them to have more than 40 points scored.
Okay, Houston has won a game. I was just making sure real quick that they beat the Jaguars. Okay. Yeah, the division's fucking in shambles.
Trash.
Absolutely the worst division in the league. My point that I was looking this up for is the only games that they won were the Jaguars, having a stroke, only putting up 6 points, and the tie at the beginning of the season to the dog shit Colts. Sorry, Casey, it's just the plain and simple truth now. The Colts cannot do a goddamn thing except beat the Chiefs somehow.
Our defense is incredible. Our offense is dog shit.
Maybe Sam Ellinger is the answer for you guys. So, I mean, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for this game, I think Derrick Henry is going to fucking make Houston his fucking city. I think he's just going to run all over Houston's defense and just go nuts. I think that Ryan Tannehill will be just fine coming off of his rolled up foot, ankle, whatever you want to call it. He went and got taped up and he was right back on the field. I mean, he was hobbling around, but that dude is a dog, and like a dog in the sense that he, like I said, he'll do anything and everything to put his team in a position to win games, right?
Yeah.
So he's a great leader, and I think he'll take the field this week and play the full game. I mean, obviously barring no further injuries. God forbid, we never want any injuries for anyone in the NFL. But yeah, I think Tennessee is going to rally over Houston and cover that 2-point spread. I think that's too tight of a spread for this, but again, the AFC South is a joke, so we'll see what happens. You could be right on this, lone wolfing over there with Houston, but I'm taking Tennessee, and I think I'm gonna take the under 40.5. I don't think there will be too much scoring in this game. I think it'll go probably maybe 24-12, puts you at 36. I'll take that.
Next game here, we have the Giants going into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Can you guys believe that this is the only game on the entire docket this week that has a game between two winning teams? And it's the Giants and the Seahawks. The Giants are at 6-1. The Seahawks are at 4-3. The only game where it's a game between two teams with winning records. The Seahawks are favored by 3 at home. The over-under is 45.5. Daniel Jones and Geno Smith have been playing very well this year as quarterbacks that everybody has doubted. Nobody gave these guys chances to do anything this year. Everybody made fun of Geno Smith for being a backup to, I forgot who the fuck was their backup over there already. Drew Lock. He hasn't played since the second game. The real story here is the running backs. Saquon Barkley and new candidate to emerge as a great fantasy player, Kenneth Walker. That dude had a game last week. He played really good. The ground game's going to get going for both teams. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored, so give me the over 45.5. The Seahawks should have the edge because they're at home, but something about this Giants team, man. I like this Giants team to go into Seattle and get the win, and they go to 7-1. This Giants, nobody had the Giants at 7-1, which is weird to say, but they are clicking. They're playing well. Giants cover the 3, obviously. If you take them straight up, they're plus 130. I would bet that. Bet them plus 130, over 45.5. Giants cover.
Damn it. I was going to pick the Giants, and I thought it was going to be cool. No, everyone's going to pick the Giants, and
I'm not picking the fucking Giants. Go ahead, Steven.
No, I think the Giants have just been playing. They've just been finding ways to win games. They won the game last week by stopping a last-second touchdown throw. That should have been a touchdown, but they stopped him a yard short, which was an amazing tackle.
Yeah.
And they're just finding ways to win. I mean, good for them. I mean, after 7 straight seasons of losing, after they took that picture with Odell Beckham on the boat, the Giants are due for a good year. I mean, I still don't think they're going to do much in the playoffs if they make it, but it's good to see the NFC East driving again, honestly.
It's kind of annoying, honestly.
It's good. It makes it competitive.
It does.
But I have the Giants winning. Seattle is definitely a tough place to play, but Giants fans should be there loud and proud. So give me the Seahawks. Give me the Giants winning straight up. That plus 130. It's a good bet, and give me the over as well. I think both teams can score points, and there should be a lot of points scored. So
New York teams. Who would have thought the Jets and the Giants are doing extremely well this season for some reason?
And Buffalo.
New York. I forgot about Buffalo.
The world's about to end.
New York football is existent, guys. With that being said, I like the Giants to win. Like you said, they've just been clicking. They've been playing some good football, finding a way to come out with a win. I'm going to give New York the cover as well. 45 points, though. Yeah, both teams can be explosive on offense. They can score when they need to, so I'll give them the over as well.
You guys are really going to make me do this, huh?
Yes.
I can't pick the Giants, man. Look, I picked against them last week because I said they weren't for real, and they might be for real. God damn it. They might be for real. They're finding ways to win the fucking game, and I don't understand how. Because on paper, like the Giants, just like we've all said, nobody expected this. Casey, you had them at 7 wins on the season total. I had them at 4. I wasn't saying like that they were just complete utter garbage. I had explained that I thought that they were on the way up, that they were digging themselves out of a deep hole that they were in. But apparently they had a fucking trampoline at the bottom of that hole because they're out of the hole, guys. But I can't do it. Everything in my Cowboy fan body just cannot do it. Seattle has been playing really well too. That's why. Well, that's another reason why, at least. The Giants are due for a loss, just like the Eagles. I think the NFC East is going to stay really tight throughout the entire season. I think the Eagles will edge out and ultimately win the division if they keep up what they're doing. But I got to pick the Seahawks here, man. I'll lone wolf it again. Again, this is going to be either a really good week for me or a really good week for you guys because I'm taking a lot of teams by myself. So we'll see how it pays off. But I'm taking Seattle. And you know what? I'm going to take it for the Giants to cover. I'm gonna say like a game-winning field goal type game to give Seattle the lead to win it. Under 45.5 for me.
Next game here, we have the 49ers going into LA to play a home game against the Rams. Because, the Rams don't have home field advantage ever at their Rams house, but the 49er fans are going to show up in this game.
Oh, yeah.
The 49ers last week were shell-shocked by the Chiefs as their offense smoked them. Like, literally put them, a little marshmallow on the end of a stick, put them over a fire, and fucking torched them. Like, Mahomes went wild. The Rams have a pass-happy offense. They just don't throw to Allen Robinson, because, I have him on my fantasy team. Cooper Kupp gets the ball every time. So I'm still pissed off about that, Rams. And then Allen Robinson went off last week when I benched him. So sucks for me. I like the 49ers to bounce back this week. I think they're going to bounce back, and I think they're going to beat the Rams in LA in a home game for the 49ers. So the over-under is 43.5. The 49ers are actually favored by 1.5 in this game. 49ers cover the 1.5. I'll actually take the 43.5 because I think both teams can score on each other. And give me the 49ers to win.
This game will just be based on which defense shows up. Honestly, both teams can have a really good defense, but it just depends if one of them decides to show up. Because if one of them doesn't show up, then they're going to get blown out. That's just the way this game's going to go, honestly. That happened to the Chiefs last week, and that's happened to the Rams. That happened to the 49ers with the Chiefs last week, and it's happened to the Rams a couple times already. That being said, I do think the 49ers are more balanced on offense now that they have Christian McCaffrey, and he's going to have a week and a half under his belt now with that offense. So he should be doing really well this week. So I have the 49ers winning in the second home stadium. I have them covering by a field goal, and I'll take the over because both teams, I think, can score points.
Another divisional round.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be the week that the Rams get pushed out.
Ram.
Giving the win to the Niners. They should be moving into that 7th seed. The Rams just haven't been consistent enough, especially from where they were last year. I'll give the Niners the cover. 1.5, that's nothing. I'll give the Niners the cover. Say it's going to be an over because it should be a pretty decent scoring game. That'll push them to 4-4, which would push them into the 7th spot.
I had to figure out a little stat real quick. The last 8 matchups between the Niners and the Rams, the Niners are 7-1. Their one loss was in the NFC Championship. I'm tempted to pick the fucking Rams because I feel like they're due. And you know what? I'm going to say fuck it because all 3 of you picked the Niners, and I'm going to take the goddamn Rams. Ram. Thanks for throwing that in there, Casey. I started fucking dying. Holy shit. I do think that the Niners will be very present in LA. But like Tony said, if the Rams lose this, they're done. This is their must-win game to stay with any hopes of doing anything for the rest of the season. I know it's only halfway through, but this is like their mini Super Bowl, if you will. It's their divisional matchup. They already lost to the Niners once this season. So I'm going to take the Rams to bounce the fuck back and stop losing every game because they're not that bad of a team. They shouldn't be this bad. I don't understand why the Rams are in the position that they are. They just won the Super Bowl and I just can't do anything right now. They need to get it together. It's a must win for the Rams. I'm taking them straight up at plus 105. I'm taking the under because I think it's going to be a really slow scoring matchup. Who knows? Since I just said all of that, it's going to go completely the opposite. So fuck it. Ram.
The Washington Commanders are heading into Indianapolis to take on my Colts. Dude, we fucking stink. Like,
You should have shotgunned it.
oh my God, I should have. We're constantly battling injury. We need to get rid of Frank Reich. Matt Ryan has been benched in place of Sam Ehlinger, and I don't know if it's because he sucks or because he's hurt.
It's a good
Quite
name.
frankly, fuck him, sit him. I don't care. But our offensive line can't block worse shit either. The bottom line is we fucking stink. And we lost the Titans twice this year, and we shouldn't have lost to them once. So there's
They
that.
also tied the Texans.
Yeah, well, yeah, we tied the Texans too. We play them at the end of the year. I'm pretty sure they'll beat us too. But the Commanders won't have Carson Wentz returning to start for a revenge game, which kind of sucks. Because I was looking forward to that. That's the only reason why this game's one of the 4:25 Eastern time games, because it was supposed to be a Carson Wentz return game. Everything being said, we're beating the Commanders this week. And Sam Ehlinger is getting his first NFL start, and he's getting the W. So go Colts, go Sam Ehlinger. I'm going to chug this beer.
Chug. Both teams are kind of not doing too well right now. Casey obviously spilled his piece right now. The Commanders did win last week. Who did they play? They played the Packers. They beat a struggling Packers team. So they beat a team last week that's struggling on offense. It's going to be tough against the Colts. But the Colts do have one of the best defenses still. They can definitely stop people, but their offense is just so abysmal that doesn't help them. That being said, I do have the Colts winning this game because I have to at least pick one NFC East team to lose. And the Commanders are going to be that team this week. So give me the Colts winning. I have them covering the 3 points. They should win by a field goal. 40 points, I think, is a little high for this game. But who knows? Sam Ehlinger can go off, and all of a sudden the Colts offense is just amazing. But for right now, I'm going to pick the under. So give me the Indy winning with the under.
Casey, I warned you last week. If the Colts did me wrong again, I couldn't go with them from here on out.
Good. Keep my team's name out of your fucking mouth and pick the other one. Let's go.
I'm actually
have to
considering
pick
it.
Colts
I
after
had
that.
them winning, but I think I might have just switched my pick.
Do it.
I don't know where you're going with this, Daniel, but if in the case, I think I'm going to be the lone wolf in this matchup. I'm going to give it to the Commanders. Like I said last week, with Heineke coming back, we might see the return of Scary Terry. And it's exactly what we saw. The dude was a presence in the last game. That offense was able to move the ball differently. I hate that I have to go with the Commanders because they are so god awful, but I'm going to give it to them. I'm gonna pick the Commanders. I'll give them that 3-point cover. I'll do the over. 20 points apiece. That's not bad. So I'll go over on the game.
This is that game for this week. You don't know which way to go.
Hang on a second. All right, keep going.
Oh, Casey just popped another one, I think.
Yeah.
Get fucked up. Do it. Just drink until Sunday, and then when the Colts lose, you can lose your pulse.
Jesus Christ.
Too far?
Not far enough, apparently.
Oh, true.
Still got a
All
pulse.
right, anyway, back to it. I think it's a must-win game for Indy. You guys have Jonathan Taylor back yet?
Yep, he played last week.
He played last week. How'd he do?
I mean, he split carries with Hines. He didn't score, so
Pretty meh.
Yeah.
Eh. All right, well, perfect. That fixes it up. Jonathan Taylor makes his return against an abysmal Washington Commanders defense without Chase Young. Sam Ehlinger fits into the Colts offense much better than Matt Ryan, and I take the Colts to win this game in Indy. Tony, you are lone wolfing this. I was going to go with Washington here until I found out that Chase Young still isn't back. He won't be back for like another 3 weeks. He is practicing now, but he's got to take some extra steps to get cleared to play. So he'll be a couple more weeks. With that, the Commanders' defense not that great. Taylor Heineke's a good ass backup quarterback, though. I mean, he's found his way to just step in and take over and do what he needs to do. I mean, he's not doing anything like blowing anybody's expectations out of the water, but he's holding down the Capitol down there. But yeah, I'm gonna take Indy this game. I'll have him cover that 3-point spread, and I think I'm gonna take the under. Do I want the under? Fuck, that's a good over under at 40. Nah, fuck it, I'll take the over. Give me 24-20. That covers the 3, puts it over 40.
Oh, I never gave my
Close game.
spread picks. Colts cover the 3, over 40. Colts win.
Yep.
Sunday night football, we have the Packers going into Buffalo to take on the Bills. The Packers are 11-point dogs in this game. The over-under is 47.5. The Packers have never been this big of an underdog when quarterbacked by Aaron Rodgers. Never, ever, ever. They are in an offensive funk because they aren't running the ball enough, and they don't really have a wide receiver core. So I don't know who the heck they're throwing to. I know they were throwing to Randall Cobb a couple weeks ago. Don't know if they're still throwing to him. The Bills defense coming off bye can pressure Aaron Rodgers and continue to frustrate his key targets. This Buffalo defense is for real. This Buffalo team is for real. I think this Buffalo team is going to destroy Green Bay. Maybe this should have been my blowout of the week. It's probably not going to because it's a Sunday night game, but I still have the Cowboys as my blowout of the week over the Bears.
You have to. It's okay.
So yeah, this is my second blowout of the week. The Bills are winning by more than 11, I think. I just don't see this Packers off a defense stopping Josh Allen and that offense. Then they're coming off of a bye. You get an extra week of rest? No, there's no way. I will take the over 47.5. I will take the Bills to cover the 11. And the Bills win this game by a lot. I think the Packers will still score some points, but they're not going to be close to the Bills in this game. So give me the Bills big. I like them like 38-20, something like that.
I just don't see how the Packers are going to be that competitive this game. They're playing in Buffalo. Buffalo's coming off a bye week. It's already doomsday for Packers right now after losing last week. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep this short and sweet. Give me the Bills winning big. They're definitely going to cover. I think they'll win by at least 2 touchdowns. And give me the over because I think they can score almost 35 points by themselves.
There's not really much to be said about this game. Obviously going with the Bills as well. I'm going to take them to cover and go over because they're just going to blow out the backs.
Getting backs blown out this Sunday night, huh? Wink. Packers haven't done shit this season. Like, I picked them to win the NFC fucking North. They're not doing it. The Vikings are going to end up taking that. Having said all that, it is a Sunday night game. I think it's going to be closer than you guys are predicting. I'm going to take Buffalo to win this game. I'm tempted to take the Packers to cover the 11. 11 is a lot of points in the NFL. But the Packers defense is also dog shit. And so is their offense. Nah, you know what? I'll stay on board with you guys. I'm taking the Bills to fucking cover that 11-point spread.
Talk yourself out of that one real quick, huh?
Like, I can see, okay, here was my thought process on this, thinking about it while you guys were speaking. Aaron Rodgers is a good leader, and he knows how to put, he's that leader that puts his team in situations to, you know, come back and stay in football games and ultimately win them. However, you need some fucking help, guy. Like, he can't do everything on his own. They're not running the ball enough, and even if they do, their offensive line is fucking, don't even have words for it. It's terrible. They can't run the football. You can't run the football. Then you can't open up the pass game. You can't fucking throw it anyway because you don't have any wide receivers to throw to because all they do is drop the goddamn ball 80 yards down the field. It's a mess in Green Bay, okay? I'm taking Buffalo here. I'm convincing myself more and more as I go on about this. Give me Buffalo and a 17-point win over the Packers in Buffalo. Take the over because Buffalo's going to score a fucking shitload of points.
Monday Night Football, we have the Bengals going into Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Bengals are favored by 3.5 in this game. The over-under is 47. Halloween night with teams with Halloween colors. What a fitting Monday night game.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I think if I were ever to pick 2 teams to play on Halloween, it would be these 2. Just because it's going to look cool in the stands. The Bengals were in form last week. Joe Burrow, 481 pass yards. Jamar Chase, over 100 yards. Joe Mixon did really good last week. T. Higgins was 7 yards, I believe, from going over 100 yards. Tyler Boyd had over 125 yards. This puts the team back in their 2021 Super Bowl form, and they're facing a banged-up Browns defense that underachieves. I don't see the Browns. I think the Browns will come out fighting because it's Monday night and they're at home. I don't remember the last time the Browns played a Monday night game at home. It has to be a while. But I like the Browns to come out strong at first, but then the Bengals pull away in the 3rd and 4th quarter. Bengals cover the 3.5. I'll take over 47 because I think the Browns can score some points on this Bengals defense. But the Bengals ultimately win on Halloween night in Cleveland over the Browns.
So the last time the Browns played on Monday Night Football
at home,
2009 against the Ravens.
Holy shit. There you go.
That was a 16-0 Ravens win.
Oof.
Yeah.
Same thing happened here with the Bengals or what?
They're going to score more points than 16.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Browns, they're like I've said all season, they're so inconsistent. They can be good one week. They can be shit the next week. They almost came back and beat the or at least tied the Ravens last week. But they just can't kick a field goal. And the Bengals are basically on their way to another Super Bowl at the rate they're playing again. We'll see about that, though. So I have the Bengals winning. I think the Cincinnati will cover. I think they'll win by a touchdown. Over, under. I think I'm going to pick the over for this game because I think both teams will be able to score a lot of points. Definitely Cincinnati will be able to. But I think the Browns will be able to keep up. But they're gonna lose by touchdown.
It's also a rivalry game, Battle of Ohio. So there you go.
Yep.
So this week, not only do we have the Battle of Philadelphia, we have the Battle of Ohio.
Fuck Ohio. Sorry.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
Yeah, I hope they
Go
both
blue.
lose.
Go blue.
If they could both lose, that'd be perfect. Anywho, I'm not gonna give it to the Browns. Obviously, they're very subpar. I don't see how the Steelers lost to them fucking idiots. Anyway, I'm gonna go with a Bengals win. I see them covering. We're gonna have Joe Burrow for 500 yards easily, 15 touchdowns.
Jesus. How many points is
I'm
that?
gonna give them the over just because the Bengals have been very explosive on offense. They figured out their offense, and the Browns could score themselves. So it should be a very high scoring Monday night game, hopefully, because we've been deprived of good games on Monday nights as well as Thursdays.
Prime time in general.
And prime time in general.
This one has all the makings to be a really great game.
Yeah.
It really does.
So divisional round, I hope they all get hurt.
Jesus Christ.
Like I said, Browns loss, the Bengals win, Bengals cover over. They all have at least half their team hurt.
Oh my god.
And we get
They're
Joe
a
Burrow
horrible
traded to the Steelers.
This season, Cincinnati has allowed 119 rushing yards per game. That is 19th in the league, so lower than middle of the pack. This is going to be a good divisional matchup, like you guys were saying. It's going to be a spooky night, Halloween,
Okay.
orange and black teams. You couldn't ask for a better setup. I think Cincinnati will win this game just because they have pretty much everything that Cleveland doesn't, except for Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, I think, will be the reason that Cleveland stays in this game. But Cincinnati's going to ultimately take the game. I think Cleveland's going to cover the spread, though, at 3.5. I think it's going to be a close divisional matchup, and I'm going to take the over 47 there. I think it'll be a high-scoring, close divisional matchup, but Cincinnati ultimately takes it at the end of the game.